the most important thing which I tell to all the aspirants is you have to understand the pulse of the test taker. They test specific skill sets. So if you're talking about verbal, it's a test of reasoning. It's not really a test of English. If you're talking about maths, it's not really testing maths so much as it testing your reasoning skills, your logical ability to have arguments and to synthesize the information in front of you to gain a result. I did not take any mocks. For me, the past year papers were the only things that I went through. I am Paritosh Sharma. I belong to Aurangabad in Maharashtra. I went on to work as a manager for operations and energy management for Tata Steel. I'm currently a first year student at IIM Bangalore. So during my time at BITS, I made the most use of all the opportunities that I had at my disposal. I interned in startups, I interned for big firms, I did operations, finance. I tried to explore as much as possible to understand what is it that interests me. One bit that probably I did not explore so much was about me working into the core field of my engineering other than the academia side of it. And that's what I did when I chose Tata Steel as my career option. Having worked at Tata Steel, I came to understand that it is very important to have a holistic understanding of business and not just have a functional knowledge in a particular domain, because that holistic understanding will let you make the best use of the resources even in your function. And if you go on later to work for cross-functional or multi-departmental decision-making roles, that understanding can really come in handy to make good decisions and to give the best outcomes for your business. So that's primarily the reason I chose IIM Bangalore for. So if I talk about the CAT prep, honestly, it wasn't a prep per se. All that I did in the name of prep was to go through certain past year papers and to just diligently understand what CAT is trying to test. Now, the most important thing which I tell to all the aspirants is you have to understand the pulse of the test taker. They test specific skill sets. So if you're talking about verbal, it's a test of reasoning. It's not really a test of English. If you're talking about maths, it's not really testing maths so much as it is testing your reasoning skills, your logical ability to have arguments and to synthesize the information in front of you to gain a result. I tried doing that through the past year papers and was able to kind of make an outline in my mind about how I'm going to attempt the CAT. I did not take any mocks. For me, the past year papers were the only things that I went through. Made sure that I read up on the experiences of people who had taken CAT before. I watched a few videos on YouTube, and that certainly helped. I also connected with a couple of my friends who had cracked CAT before. So that experience certainly helped, but I think CAT turns out to be different for each and every person. They should understand what are their strengths and weaknesses. What I can tell you based on what I saw my friends doing was that if you can have your weaknesses and strengths figured out and then try to retain your strengths and work on your weaknesses to bring them at a par level which is enough to clear that threshold, I think it should be good to go, because CAT does not expect you to do very well in all the three sections. If you're weak in a certain section, it's fine. It can be offset by other sections provided you clear a certain bar in all the three sections. In my 10th standard, I did it in ICSE. My percentage was 96.5%. In my 12th, which was Maharashtra State Board, I secured 92.46%. In my undergrad, my CGPA was 8.13 out of 10. Regarding CAT, I got calls from Bangalore and Calcutta, and I converted to Bangalore. My interviews for ISB as well as IIM were pretty smooth. The ISB was a slightly longer one. It was about 45-50 odd minutes. Bangalore as well as Calcutta was somewhere around 25-30 minutes. in both these interviews, of course can't go into the specifics, but it mostly revolved around the work experience that I had and the kind of things that I had submitted during the selection process. So nothing that is asked in the interview would be outside of what you have already given them. It would be something related to that, and if you have done justice and if you have been truthful and diligent about the things that you have done and you have submitted in the application, you should be good to go. There's not so much to fret about the interview. Just be you. Don't take the process too seriously. It might become overwhelming at times, but try to be calm in the interview, and it's fine. Just be yourself, and that genuinely trying to look for reasons to select. You just have to prove that you can add value to a diverse class of PGP students, and I think this is something that is common to both IIM as well as ISB. IIM results came out at the time when I was still contemplating if I want to do an MBA in India or want to do an MBA abroad. If it will be in India, it would be ISB or some IIM. It was a confusing moment, to be honest, counter to what you might expect. I was happy, but I was all the more confused now because the timeline to choose between an MBA in India or abroad and between ISB and IIM would come close. Now, that being said, IIM Bangalore has been an amazing experience so far. I have met some amazing minds, one of the brightest minds in the country, and the rigor that is there, it's immense, but the kind of learning that I'm having here in terms of the academics, in terms of all the other activities that happen on campus and the peer-to-peer interaction, it's amazing. I don't think it would have been possible otherwise if I would have not taken IIM Bangalore this year. I look at it in the long run. IIM Bangalore is obviously going to be a step in the direction of what larger goal I want to achieve, and I think I take it as just that. It's gonna be a step that is going to be adding value to my life going forward, and I'm willing to make the best use of whatever is presented here, making great friends and having great experiences. And this is what I would recommend to all the people coming in. Don't have too much of a specific expectation. Try to go with the flow, and I think you'll be able to have a good time at Bangalore if you come in with a clean slate and an open mind.